Hello dears, hope you are all fine. Today we'll explain a new activity in chapter 1. Activity 3, Enzymes, Agents of Digestion, page 20-21. Enzymes have four specific properties, starting from the first property, which is specificity. Each enzyme acts on only one specific substrate. This is due to key lock interaction, like in the adjacent figure. When the key binds to the lock, which is the enzyme, thus the lock will open. This means that the enzyme digests the substrate. Also, this is due to complementarity. Another word for key lock interaction, it is complementarity or binding affinity. As we know in activity 2 that each enzyme has an active site in which the substrate can bind to it. Look, this substrate has a square shape, and this active site also has a square shape. When this substrate binds to the active site, then this substrate is digested by this enzyme, whereas in the adjacent figure, the substrate has a circle shape, which can't fit the active site of the enzyme. This means that this enzyme can't digest the circle shape of the substrate. The second property is appropriate temperature. All enzymes act at body temperature 37 degrees Celsius. This figure shows the variation of rate of reaction as a function of temperature in degrees Celsius. The rate of reaction was at its minimum at 0 degrees Celsius. Then it increases to its optimum or maximum value at optimum temperature, which is body temperature 37 degrees Celsius. Then, as the temperature increases to 60 degrees Celsius, the rate of reaction decreases to 0. If we compare the rate of reaction at 10 degrees Celsius and at 60 degrees Celsius, we will notice that the rate of reaction was low at 10 degrees Celsius and was at 0 or at minimum at 60 degrees Celsius. This means that at 10 degrees Celsius, which is low temperature, the enzyme is inactive, whereas at 60 degrees Celsius, which is high temperature, the enzyme is destroyed. The third property is specific medium. Each enzyme acts on a specific medium, acidic medium, neutral medium, or basic medium. This figure shows the variation of the speed of the reaction of three enzymes, pepsin, salivary amylase, and trypsin as a function of pH. As we know that salivary amylase is the enzyme which acts on starch in the mouth, whereas pepsin and trypsin are the enzymes which act on the protein. Pepsin is the protease, means that acts on the protein, is the enzyme acts on the protein, but in the stomach, whereas trypsin is also the protease. Protease means enzyme acts on the protein, but in the small intestine. Let's make an analysis for each curve. The speed of the reaction of a pepsin was at its minimum value at pH equal 1. Then it increases to its maximum value at pH equal 2. Then it decreases to its minimum value at pH equal 4. Whereas the speed of the reaction of salivary amylase was at its minimum value at pH equal 5, then it increases to its maximum value at pH equal 7, then it decreases to its minimum value at pH equal 9. Finally, the speed of the reaction of trypsin was at its minimum value at pH approximately equal to 6, then it increases to its maximum value or optimum value at pH equal 8 approximately, then it decreases to its minimum value at pH equal 10. So, what is the medium of each enzyme? The medium of a pepsin is acidic medium, pH equal 2 less than 7, whereas the pH of the salivary amylase, which is equal to 7, means that it is a neutral medium, whereas the medium of trypsin was at pH equal 8, which is basic medium. This means that each enzyme acts on a specific medium. And finally, the enzyme that acts on a specific substrate, it needs a specific duration in order to digest it. Thus, the fourth property, which is the last property of the enzyme, is the specific duration. Each enzyme needs a definite period of time to digest its substrate. As a summary for this activity, there are 4 properties of the enzyme. Specificity means acts on specific substrate. Appropriate temperature, which is 37 degrees Celsius. Specific medium, either acidic, basic, or neutral, and specific duration. In specific duration, you should know that enzyme salivary amylase needs 15 minutes, whereas pepsin and trypsin needs 1 hour.